Okay, today we're talking international time zones. Now behind me I have a map with the international time zones written up above over here. So what are they? Well, in 1884 the world was divided in roughly different time zones. It was broken up into about, well, for every 15 degrees of meridian longitude, we'd have 1 hour time difference. Now the time difference would all be relative to the prime meridian, which is right here, which is Coordinated Universal Time and sometimes referred to as Greenwich Mean Time. When we go east of this prime meridian, we have positive numbers, positive 1 hour, positive 2 hours, positive 3, positive 4, all the way across there. And as we go west, it's -1, -2, -3, -4, relative to Coordinated Universal Time, which is the prime meridian. Now, these time zones that we have are zones, not lines of longitude. They don't necessarily follow lines of longitude. Why? Because of administrative reasons and boundaries and regions of countries. It's not practical to change time zones within a country, for example, too often. For example, in China actually covers 4 time zones, yet it's mostly only 1 time zone because it's more practical. So we roughly follow the meridian, but not exactly. It depends on the country. So we're going to work out the difference in the time between 2 cities. The 2 cities are, first of all, let's have a look here. The first city is Singapore, which is right about here. I'll make it bigger so you can see it. Right there is Singapore, right there. And Toronto, which is all the way here. Toronto is right over there. There's Toronto. So what we're going to do in a moment is we're going to work out the difference in time between Singapore and Toronto right over here. And as we can see here for Singapore, it's roughly going to be, Singapore is going to be +8 right there. And over here we have Toronto, which is -5, roughly -5, because it's in that region. Remember, it doesn't necessarily follow the meridian, it follows a region or a zone. That's why they're called time zones. So stay tuned, I'm about to work it out for you. All right, we're looking to find the time difference between Toronto and Singapore. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a rough rectangle like this, and we're going to mark out the universal coordinate time, or the prime meridian, right in the middle. Why? Because Toronto is on the west of the prime meridian and Singapore is on the east. So in the middle, we're going to put that first. So let's put that in. The Coordinated Universal Time, the prime meridian, right there. Coordinated Universal Time, right over there. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in, we'll put Singapore, which is east. Singapore can go there. And on this side west, we'll put Toronto. Let's put Toronto. Now this is rough and not to scale. So let me just mark them out. So we have up here, we have Singapore. And over here we have Toronto. Okay, the time here, well, we got 0 degrees. This is Coordinated Universal Time, or Greenwich Mean Time if you prefer, depending on your textbook. All right, over here we have Singapore. What is Singapore? Singapore is +8. It is +8 to the east of, well, 8 hours to the east of Coordinated Universal Time, that way. And on this side, we have -5 hours, -5 standard time for Toronto. Okay, we're looking for the time difference. How do we work out the time difference? Well, first of all, we know that we've got east and west are on either side of Coordinated Universal Time. So we want to join them up. So let's put in 2 cities here. So let's say we have right over here. Let me just get 2 cities. We got Singapore, actually Toronto here, and Singapore right over there. There's Singapore. There are our 2 cities. Okay, time difference. Well, as you can see here, we have a plus sign right there. So it's plus. So what do we want to do? We want to add the 2 times. That's how we find the difference between them, because we have Coordinated Universal Time in the middle. So it's +8 plus +5. Even though that's a minus, that's 5 hours west. It's 8 hours east. We add them together. So let's do that. So the time difference between Toronto and Singapore is, and we use positives, 5 plus 8. 5 plus 8, add them together, that equals 13. 13 hours. So the difference in time, again, between Singapore and Toronto is 13 hours. Thanks for watching. Hope that helps.